Morning, folks. My name is Phil Gallagher. I run ThrabenU University, a site for legacy death and taxes. Welcome back to Daily D&T. I wanted to thank Dr. Bill, Anthony P., and Nerf Blaster for donating to keep Daily D&T going. This week's deck list is kind of interesting. It's courtesy of Pyramid of Greatness from the Legacy D&T Discord. This is a 5-0 deck list. Believe it or not, it has some non-traditional cards. So this is a Squadron Hawk Force of Virtue build, but notice that the equipment package is entirely gone in this build, and we are just like full-on hit you in the face with flyers. A playset of Sarah Avenger, 2 Tomics, 4 Flicker Wisps, supplemented with Brimaz to round out the creature package. Means that you're going to hit hard and fast, and your Ether Vial starts are going to be extremely aggressive. To supplement the flyer plan, we have Sarah the Benevolent in the sideboard, which is sort of like a mini Anthem effect for your flyers, or can create some flyers, as well as a good old-fashioned moat to lock out some of the mid-range decks. Let's jump on into a Legacy League and see how this feels. The Squadron Hawks definitely have more playability than I initially thought. I'd tried them in Legacy previously in like a Stoneblade deck where my goal was to like shuffle them back in the deck via brainstorms and then like play one and draw them all again. But I hadn't tried them with sort of an Anthem plan. Yikes. This is pretty borderline. It has Ether Vial, but it has no creatures. With the ability to port down my opponent turn after turn, this hand might be acceptable. Pierce me? You're gonna pierce me. So we won't be pitching this Force of, or we won't be pitch casting this Force of Virtue. We'll be hard casting this Force of Virtue this game. If I play around Daze, I'll play into Wasteland. I think I'm just going to try to curve out here. I just get to like wall the Nimble Mongoose if this resolves. And then it'll protect my port from Wasteland, or force a Lightning Bolt from my opponent. Nice. I'm going to have Stifle to think about with this Flicker Wisp here. Haven't really given my opponent the opportunity to stifle anything yet. So I'm not sure that I want to like attack with Tomic, Flicker Wisp it out, and then like potentially walk into what would be a very, very bad stifle for me. think I'll just blink a land here. Like, if that's something that gets stifled, that's not the end of the world. So my opponent's hand was relatively weak. We'll kind of see how things shake out now. Oh, still didn't just like hit a Renin 6 there. Renin 6 minus on the Flicker Wisp would have prompted my Force of Virtue being pitch cast. Alright. So we got the Delver. I presume this is going to resolve. Yeah. And now I probably turn aggro here. I hit for 7, my opponent hits for 6, I get the first attack. Note that my opponent hitting for 6 is contingent on them putting 2 cards into the graveyard, but given that they have a Wasteland on board. Well, actually, no, Wasteland doesn't really work. They can't Wasteland themselves right now. Yeah, it's pretty rough if they can't get Threshold this turn, actually. I don't understand not taking the 2 points of damage there. I don't know why that was held back. Yeah, so my opponent could have bolted during their turn and crashed in for 6 points of damage. That really seems like a missed opportunity to me. It may not matter because like they're gonna have the Swifter clock now. I need to draw another creature. Otherwise I'm forced into holding Tomic back. If I attack in, the only thing that will probably beat me is Lightning Bolt plus Red Land. So I think I will be attacking in. Alright, my opponent concedes there. So we're playing against Rug Delver. Council judgments are great. The path to exile is something that I can consider. Moat, maybe I consider. I don't think we go like that deep or anything. All right, so what's bad here? That's kind of the big question because like we have so many flyers and so many aggressive threats that most of our cards actually aren't that bad. Like we'll probably end up trimming the recruiter. But then like if you look at this, like basically all the rest of our cards are good. Like Wisps, Tomix, Avengers, Thalias, Hawks, Brimas, Moms, Swords. Like all this stuff's great. Force of Virtue puts like Tomic out of the range of Lightning Bolt and puts Hawks, Thalias, and Flickerwisps out of range of Ren and 6. So we probably don't need to board much at all, really. So given that, I probably won't play Moat. Can probably trim a Force of Virtue. Am I supposed to trim Thalia on the draw? That seems kind of weird. But maybe it's fine on the draw if I'm bringing in triple Council Judgment. And then when I'm on the play, I'll bring the Thalias back in and like maybe trim a second Force of Virtue. Or maybe I'm supposed to trim a second Force of Virtue in the first place. Not 100% sure here. It's kind of weird not having the Stoneforge Mystic package, but instead having just like a billion bodies that trade with the Delver. This is a fine opening hand. I think I just want to junk the Delver here. I think I want to junk the Delver and then potentially have the possibility to play the rest of my spells around days. Great, and my opponent is not playing a basic. We've kind of gone full circle on Delver decks in the past few months, where it's gone from Delver played no basics to Delver plays multiple basics. Well, Wastelanding my opponent feels a lot less good now. Playing Thalia feels a lot better. But also just like playing around days for probably the entire rest of the game by playing out just Mom this turn also feels fine. I think Mom versus Thalia is pretty close there. Thalia uses my mana more efficiently. Mom plays around days. Saving Mom means that if I draw a white source on turn 4 or 5, I could do Avenger plus Mom. Both Thalia and Mom will just eat it to a Ren and 6 if that comes down. Really hoping for not Dreadhorde Arcanist here. That's the big thing that would scare me, just like recurring lightning bolt. Your bad brainstorms get much more forgiving with the Sylvan Library in play, by the way, just in case you've never had that interaction before. When you put back the crap with brainstorm, you can just push it further down via Sylvan Library. I value Brimaz pretty highly. I'd kind of like to play that around a Daze. I think Thalia is a great play unless my opponent has Run in 6. Could get snared if my opponent is playing that. It gets forced pitching Daze. Alright, super glad that I played around Daze the last couple turns. Opponent's going real deep with these Sylvan Library hits. Like, I have not damaged them yet, right? No, I have not. Like, at this point, it's just going to be 2 pecks with a Sarah Avenger or 2 hits with a Brimaz. One hit if they end up fetching. So I think my opponent will be looking to find Dreadhorde Arcanist. One damage to Avenger. Do you have like a Fork Bolt then? That's fine. That would have been a great Force of Virtue blowout point, though. Squadron Hawk. Your time isn't right now, little buddy, but soon. Soon. Let's continue to play around Daze. Sure. So I think my opponent did some poor sequencing this turn, in that they took themselves off threshold, so now their Nimble Mongoose can't attack. by just like plussing the run in 6. So now I could remove a Delver and just like play a Squadron Hawk that forces my opponent to Ren a minus, but I think it's better to just play Tomic. Delver should flip. Electrickery. Sure, that's not gonna do much right now. Like, my creatures are too big, even with Ren and 6 minus in as well. Alright, and we take down the match pretty easily. This version very well suited to bullying on Delver. We barely had to sideboard, as you saw. I'll see you tomorrow.